Good morning, everybody. Such a joy to be here this morning. I just flew in from Dubai. I arrived at 2:30 in the morning, spent some time in my second home, the airport, and at 6 I was picked up and I'm here. Unfortunately, I can't be here for a longer time. Soon after I finish, I have to rush back to the airport, and then I have a concert in Chennai this evening. But this is my life, and you get to see my life, how I live from airport to airport, planes to planes. But I'm so committed to TED Talk shows, and I've spoken in many different TED events, and the reason is that it really makes a difference. And people come and speak here not for any other reason. The only reason is to inspire you. And me, being called as an entertainer, I don't entertain people, I inspire people. And inspiration with conviction really makes a difference in this world as such. And the theme, Together Towards Transition, my view is going to be a little different, and I hope you will be able to get that as such. And the title that I wanted to use was Power in Weakness. Many times you hear about weakness to power, but for me is power in weakness. And my whole life is like that, if you see. To start with my music, I was 15 years old when I went for my first guitar lesson. And on the first day, the guitar teacher told me, don't come back anymore because you have no musical talents at all. And that was the reality, that I had no musical talents at all. That was my weak point. But that did not stop me from being there. But at the age of 19, when I was in a Bible college, that's where I picked up an old broken guitar. And when musicians broke strings, I collected the broken strings, tied them together, and put them on the guitar. And I practiced 7 hours every day, just starting off my new musical journey with one sheet of chords. So my weakness was still there, but it did not remain there. My weakness became a point towards transition of excelling. And you want to excel, my friends, it does not start with excuses, but it starts with overcoming your excuses. No matter how genuine your excuse is, it will never help you to grow. I was born with asthma. From the age of 2 till the age of 16, I was on wrong medication, and as a result of that, 60% of my lungs got damaged, and my immune system broke down, and I started to develop arthritis. And doctors told me I can never play the guitar. So medically, I had a very genuine, real excuse not to play the guitar. But if I want to transition towards moving forward, I have to put away my excuses, no matter how genuine and good they are. And with the help of God, I was able to practice 7 hours every day, other than my studies, and I was able to excel. And the idea for this guitar came was in 2004, when I was invited to play for the official welcoming of South African athletes at the Olympic Games in Greece, as well as the cultural stages. And they strictly told me, we just want your music and nothing to do with your story. Now, having gone so much of pain and rejection in life, where at 16 the doctors gave me 6 months to live, I felt so worthless, I felt so lost in life, not able to keep up to the expectations of my parents. My father is an aerospace scientist, and being the firstborn in the family, I was expected to become like him. I don't know where India gets this understanding, thinking that every firstborn son will have the same brains like the father. Of course, I proved it wrong, actually. But it was tough to keep those expectations. Sadly, our culture has forgotten that every child has a potential. And they've forgotten that we are humans, not just machines, to just keep expecting this. It was tough. And at 16, having lost everything in life, I contemplated to commit suicide. And at the lowest point of my life is when I had an encounter with God that changed my life forever. And today I use my talent. It's not just to entertain and show off, but to really use this to inspire people that no matter who they are not useless. No matter what terms people put on them, they are not useless. God created each one of us with a talent, with a potential to excel and to make a difference here on this planet Earth. So let me play the song which I played at the Olympics, and it's called My Jesus, My Savior, Lord, There Is None Like You. This song took me 2,000 hours of practice. So you work hard, you excel. One day you will be made the head and not the tail. You will be more than a conqueror regardless of what people say. Okay, so that's my instrument. If a broken person like me with no musical education can create something new, imagine all you smart people. It's just amazing what you can do to the society, to our nation today. One of the things of moving towards transition is also keeping your values, which is very important, not just surrendering yourself to the system of this world. No, I wanted to go to one country in my lifetime. That was my lifetime dream to have. But I asked God, what is your dream for me? And in 2002, this was the divine call I received to travel to every nation by 2010. Of course, the first question comes, where do you get the money to travel? And how can I travel with my Indian passport, which requires visas to so many countries at the time? But I put my faith in God. That's my one first thing is, for me to move towards a transition on the right path is to have my faith in God. And number two is not to compromise with my values in any ways. So I made a commitment that I will never ask for money, will never borrow money from anybody, will never take a loan from the bank or trust the credit card. If you have these four principles, 90% of your problems are gone. Because most of the problems are somehow centered around money. So I started off with this simple faith and simple journey. Let me show you my passport. Might be you can show it on the screen. Is it on the screen? Yes. Guess so, yeah. Sorry, I had to break my passport into two pieces. It's not fitting into the machines anymore. But this is my one passport. There's 14 books inside. And this is fascinating to carry a passport like this. I'm proud it's Indian passport. I've not changed my citizenship to any other nation. But I knew that God created me as an Indian, and I am going to make a difference in the world of traveling with an Indian passport. And the next picture, please. This is my world map of my travels. And you want to travel? This is an idea you can get. And on 22nd of November 2010, I arrived in my last country, Pakistan. And I broke 6 world records. Interesting, I started off in India and finished in Pakistan. That's not the best way to travel, but that's how it worked out as such. And it was fun, and on 22nd of November, I broke 6 world records. And one of them is I became the fastest man in the history to travel to every single nation, dependent and sovereign, in the shortest time. 245 nations, including Antarctica, in 6 years, 6 months, and 22 days. And I did that debt-free. Never charged for a concert. More than 80% of my flight tickets I paid, and I did it debt-free. Why? Because I had a purpose in front of me. You have a purpose in front of you, you have passion. And when you have passion and purpose, even your weakness becomes your strength. You know, with 40% lungs and being an asthmatic, to go to Antarctica is no joke. 69 hours of flying time from India to Antarctica and back. Only flying time. The temperature goes down to minus 60 degrees Celsius. The wind is 300 kilometers an hour. What makes you go there? Because I have a purpose to go and tell those scientists that we love them for what they're doing. I went and did a concert for the scientists in Antarctica. Brought smiles into their lives. I tell you, it was worth traveling all that to make a difference among few people. That's what pushes me to the place where I am. I went to Pitcairn Island. It's the most remote nation on this earth. From the nearest airport, it takes 2 days, but the boat is available only once in 3 months. I did the first concert ever in 200 years. It was exciting. Went there. I asked them, what's the population of your island? They said, 66 people. Now that was a cultural shock for me coming from India. At the concert, the organizer came and said, you will not believe this is the largest gathering we have ever had. I said, what do you mean? He said, 52 people have come. That's 80% of the entire nation that has come to the concert. It was just fascinating coming from a rejected person from school and society, and here going and making a difference, even in the remote corners of the world, was just fulfilling. But part of that is also your value. When I take my first passport, and when I turn around to the last page here, on the 19th of February 2002, I took my first flight as a concert artist, and I went from Delhi to Moscow. Fresh, new artist. And when I arrived in Moscow, seeing my passport being so empty, they said they wanted a bribe of $50 just to enter into the country. I told them, I'm an Indian and I'm a Christian, I don't give a bribe. And because I refused to give a bribe, they detained me in the airport for 30 hours. And after 30 hours, they deported me back to India. What a glorious opening ceremony I had. But I want to tell you, my friends, don't compromise your values. You want to see India corrupt-free? It starts with you and I. The transition, that change has to be you and I first. And when we all follow that, you will see a difference that's going to happen in this. I kept my values more than my achievement. For me, my character is more important than achieving a goal. Until today, I could tell the world, I have never ever given bribe in all my travels. And I was able to accomplish the task by breaking the world record for traveling to every country. We can do that even in our own country. No matter how difficult life would get, you will be in key positions one day. But those positions will allow you to make a decision to live a righteous life or just to go with the flow of what the corrupt world is. But my prayer is that you will make a difference. If I could do that, traveling to 257 nations as of now, for me that is the transition that I want to go, is to live a corrupt-free life, no matter what it's going to cost me. To get my Nigerian visa, they told me you have to pay a $100 bribe, or you have to come in person. Now for me to come in person, it was a last-minute ticket. It was $350 to go from Bangalore to Delhi, and back to Bangalore because it was a last minute ticket. But if I would give $100 through the agent, I would get my visa. I chose the path of $350 to go to Delhi, show my passport in person and get my visa. Why? Because I believe in this nation. I believe that things are going to change in my country. I believe that we are going to be an example of a corrupt-free nation one day. And for that, all of us have to join our hands and live that change. And then you see we are really moving towards a transition of being a different nation as Indians as such. So for me, this passport is not just simply a world record passport. This is a passport that I've journeyed with right values in life. And I've not given up that. Going to all these places was not easy. But I'll tell you, I've just enjoyed playing my instrument, making a difference. Sometimes I'm in 4 countries in a day, 5 continents in a week. And it's just wonderful to make a difference in the lives of people as such. Before I close with a piece on the pan flute, this is my last year of my travels. For 13 years I've been traveling. I've come to a point, I'm going to retire from my traveling. I'm only 38, but I guess it's time to retire. And I'm building a cafe to reach out to college students who are at the point of committing suicide in Bangalore. And the cafe is called Chai 316, Chai 316. And it is a goal where only tea is served, nothing else, only tea. So all my savings I've put forth, and I'm building this 400-seater cafe, fascinating cafe. And only chai is served. The price of the tea will be decided by the students. And all the counselors will be trained as waiter and waitresses. So as they serve chai, they will be there to serve respect and value, regardless of what your academic report says. I want to really see all these young people's lives transformed so that they will have a life and life in abundance. And finally, power and weakness is I only have 40% lungs. In 2012, I was invited to play at the Dada Fest as part of the Paralympic Games. And I said, God, how can I inspire people who have challenges in life? And that's when I felt that God was telling me to pick up a brand new instrument, the pan flute. But I only have 40% lungs. I've collapsed in the aeroplane many times because of breathlessness. And God said He'll give me the strength within my weakness, that His power will be made perfect in my weakness. And today when I play this pan flute, even medical doctors sit there and say, this is impossible, Benny. Some of them who are asthmatic can feel the way I'm breathless. But I'll tell you, within my weakness, when I can inspire people to move forward in the right path, it gives me joy. It puts my pain becomes small because the joy that it's bringing is greater. It is blessed to give than to receive. And I've lived a beautiful, simple, glorious life. I cannot trade this life for anything else. No matter how much money would come, that is secondary for me. So let me play this song, Give Thanks with a Grateful Heart.